So this is an example of how academic writing task 1 question looks like. So they will advise you should spend 20 minutes on this. Advise you spend 20 minutes on this. Which is just an advice, because you can decide to spend your whole. What is going to happen is they're going to give you 1 hour for all your writing task, both task 1 and task 2. They're going to give you 1 hour. But the same formula I gave you earlier, which they use to calculate your band, that's the same formula they use to advise you for your time. Okay, so 1/3 of 1 hour is 20 minutes, and 2/3 of 1 hour is 40 minutes. So for your task 1, they will advise you to use 20 minutes. And for your task 2, they will advise you to use 40 minutes. Okay. It's an advice. The examiner will not stop you after 20 minutes. Neither will the examiner stop you after 40 minutes for your task 2 as well. The examiner will only stop you after 1 hour. So how you manage that 1 hour between the two tasks is your responsibility. You could do the task 1 first, you could do the task 2 first. That's your own personal business. Okay, so it's an advice that you should spend 20 minutes on this task. If you spend less, then it's better for you. You can save time up for your tasks too, just in case. All right. So you have 20 minutes for this. The chart shows the amount and quality of water supplied to 2 regions of the world. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features, and make comparison where relevant. Another instruction here is you should write at least 150 words. Okay, so 2 main instructions here you can see is always bolding, 20 minutes, then at least 150 words. And when they say at least 150 words, that means a minimum of 150 words. If you have 149 words, there is an official penalty for that. They are going to deduct your points, your add end scores, if you write anything less than 150. And at least 150 means there's no maximum limit. So you could write 1,000 words if you like. The examiner will still read it. That's what they are paid to do. However, the concern there is, number 1, you have tendency of running out of time, because when you write extensively, you can lose track of your timing. Okay. Number 2, the more you write, the higher your chances of making grammatical errors and grammatical inaccuracies. Okay, Yoruba people will say nínú ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ni ìsọkúsọ wà. So when you talk too much, you are prone to blasphemy. So wise to keep it short and simple. Okay. Then number 3 is the fact that when you write too much, you have not demonstrated clarity. Okay, like I used to say, conciseness is a proof of clarity. Okay. The fact that you can summarize, you can paraphrase in concise statements. It shows that you really understand what you are doing. I'm sure in secondary school we do summary, and in summary, then they can give you 500 words essay, and they ask you to summarize it in 2 sentences. Okay, so 500 words, then you compress it into 2 sentences. That is how they want to judge your understanding of the essay. Okay, so the same thing with IELTS. That's what they are trying to assess your understanding of the essay. Okay. Then lastly, when you write too much as well, to be honest, you haven't actually done what the question asks you to do, because the question clearly tell you to summarize. Can you see my screen? The question is asking you to summarize. And IELTS, they are very conscious, they are very intentional about their choice of words. Okay, they are very intentional about their choice of when they ask you to summarize, bro, summarize. Okay. When they ask you to summarize, summarize. If you have a neighbor, you can tell your neighbor, turn to your neighbor and tell him, summarize. Okay. So don't try to impress by writing. Even if you're a fast writer and you are able to write 5,000 words in 15 minutes, that's not something for you to be proud of when it comes to IELTS, because you doing that show that you're already derailing, you're already going away from what the question asks you to do. The question clearly asks you to summarize. You can't tell me that you are writing 1,000 words to describe a bar chart and you are claiming to be summarizing. What if you are not summarizing? That means you would have written a textbook. You would have written a textbook on that. Okay, so it's very important to play by the rule. I hope that is clear. So this is just example of how academic writing task 1 questions look like. So it could come in, like in this case now, this is a bar chart. It could be a bar chart. It could be a pie chart. It could be a table. It could be a map. It could be a process. Okay. So it all depends, and it could be a combination of either of them as well. So we have questions, we have multiple charts questions where you have more than a single chart. Like in this place now, you have 2 bar charts. Okay. Another time you can have a bar chart and a line graph. Another time you can have 5 or 3, 4 pie charts. For maps, there are always more than one. You can have 1 or 2 maps as well. So at the right time, we'll be talking about the right way to approach each question type. Okay, so this is just me laying foundation for what academic writing task 1 is all about. I hope that is clear. Any question before I move on tonight? If you got any question, please just raise your hand or type. Okay, at any point, so I can pause and attend to you. If you miss these foundations, that's what make IELTS to be overwhelming, and it makes it look so difficult, because if the foundation is faulty, there's little you can do. Okay, so that's why I'm taking my time to talk us through these foundational matters. We still have more complicated issues ahead, but you need to understand this. If you are not with us at this level, then it's going to be difficult for you going forward. So if you've got questions in your mind or clarifications, please do quickly before you get to bed. Alright. So I sent a file to the general class on WhatsApp, I think yesterday, or was it this morning? And I advised that we should read through it prior to the class. Do I have any faithful candidates that has read through it? Can I have a show of hands if you've gone through the file that I sent, the document I sent on the WhatsApp page? Anybody? Okay, one person. Any other person? Any other person? So it's just Adebola that is faithful. The rest of us, we are unfaithful servants. Okay, 2 people. Brilliant. That's fine. Don't worry. I'm not going to call you out for anything yet. It's the marking guide. You can put down your hands, please. The file I sent is the marking guide for your academic writing task 1, and it's the official document. That's what your examiner will use to mark your efforts. That's what they use to score your essay. So it's very, very important that you get accustomed to it. It's just wise for you to understand what the examiner is expecting from you before you start this journey of IELTS. I'm sure some of you have seen people with very good use of English. They are very fluent, like you know that this person, some of them even get accents, that you know this person knows what he's doing. But he's been struggling with IELTS, or she's been struggling with IELTS, first time, second time, third time, fourth time, and you are wondering what exactly is going on with this person. You know this person is very smart, clever, brilliant, anything you can use for the person, but the person is struggling with IELTS. And you see this person who happens to be like an average English user, of English. She can hardly construct 3 sentences without making any mistake or blunder. She can't, even her accent is like our people back home in Oyo or Ekiti. Like the local accent is still very obvious in his mouth or in her mouth. And this person is coming out in flying colors with IELTS. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Or you've seen people like that and you are wondering what exactly is going on? Maybe it is even yourself. Someone was telling me when she was struggling with the exam that in her career, she has never failed any exam. She has never had cause to write any exam twice until she started taking IELTS. Okay. So the bottom line is you not understanding what the examiner is actually looking for. For your mind, you think you are doing well, you think you are doing the right thing, but the examiner is actually looking for something different. Okay, so they prefer you, what they've told you they want, just give it back to them, and you are going to be exceptional. Okay, and you're going to be exceptional. So I won't take so much time on this because I've sent it and I expect us to read it. Probably the rest of us, you can go through it at your own time. But just some highlights on it. Okay, there are 4 criteria that they use to grade your. There are 4 criteria that they use to grade your writing, your essay. Okay, so you have the task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, and grammatical range. Okay, task achievement is just like how much you are able to answer the question. Like I was giving you in some minutes ago when I was highlighting the word summarize. That looks like an instruction. Summarize this and this and that. That is a task. That is an instruction. So how much you comply with that instruction is going to come under your task achievement. It's the same marking criteria for task 2 as well. Okay. So in the task 2, they can ask you, to what extent do you agree or disagree? That looks like a question. So how much you are able to answer that question will come under your task achievements. Okay. So while answering that question, how you are able to arrange your idea, the logical arrangement of your idea comes in under coherence and cohesion. Okay. You might have that idea, you might have the answer, which the answer might be correct as well, but putting it together, tailoring it together, arranging your idea I'm sure you've attended some presentations and you're wowed. You understand? You are bowled over by the presentation, the logical arrangement of uh, that presentation. So the cohesive devices you use, your paragraphings, the progression in your essay, those things come up under coherence and cohesion. Then logical lexical resource is your vocabulary, okay? Your choice of words, the words you are using to pass across your message. Very important. How much you're able to paraphrase, how much you're able to use uncommon, less common vocabularies accurately, okay? Your ability for you to demonstrate a wide range of vocabulary, okay, without making errors, okay? Your spellings, they also come up under this. They mark your spellings as well. So please note that they mark your spellings as well. So they all come under lexical resource. And your grammatical range, obviously, that's about your tenses, your sentence formation, your your tenses and sentence formations, basically. Okay, so the all your past tenses, present tenses, how you apply them together. Okay, your part of speeches, how you put them together appropriately. Those things come under your grammatical uh, range. Okay. So just take your time and go through this. Very especially, you can start from band 5. I would advise you to start from band. You can start from band 1, whichever way. So I advise pay a closer attention to band 5, band 6, 7, and 8 for all the categories. Okay, so that's going to give you an idea of what is expected of you. And in our subsequent classes, I'm going to be making reference to that as well. Okay, so I will leave that with you. Then I expect by the next class, I expect everybody to have studied it. Don't just read it, study it. Okay. Any question from anyone at this point?